Tigers and Jefferson County High School football on the Visig Impact Sports Radio Network. This season's live play-by-play coverage is sponsored by
some scores here.
the Eye Care Institute. Call St. X grad Dr. Brennan Green, 589-1500, or visit the website at eyecareinstitute.com. Call your law firm. St. X alum Tony Collier. Visit collierlawfirm.com. That's COLYER lawfirm.com. Or call Tony at 502-736-8141.
Wow.
Knights Travel.
Here at
Fly by
halftime,
Knights.
the Cal
It's the best
South
way to travel.
Odom.
Shady Rays.
Cal and South
Visit
Odom, halftime
ShadyRays.com
0-0.
and use discount code TIGERS for
Two good teams.
50%
Supposed
off
to be
2
good
or more pairs.
See what else I
M&M
got.
Cartage, a family-run transportation company since 1972.
Try to get some more scores here.
Specializing in logistical services, freight shipping, warehousing, and more for companies nationwide.
Same thing on Trinity. Let's find another.
No, he said
Contact
34-9.
St. X
Yeah, that's what it says at
Don
half.
Hayden at 502-456-4586 for more information.
I'm rolling through them right now trying to
Glen
find them.
Oaks Country Club, the best golf and country club value in Louisville. Come join us.
Central Manual.
DFH.
Yeah, I'll get that. Probably should get that in a second.
PRP Valley.
At 968-6222
Those are the ones I'm interested in.
for all your
Okay.
heating and cooling needs. St. X High School.
Let's try-
Learn more at stx.com or call 637-4712.
try
St.
manual
X High
athletics.
School, a band of brothers living the mission, embracing the future. Events LLC.
They're spreading them out. I
Custom
like it.
designs,
Yeah.
uniquely tailored to your event. From setup to takedown.
Scored
we will
halftime,
make your
Central and
event
Manual 0-0.
extraordinary.
So nobody can score tonight. Is that what you're
Impact
saying?
Group.
Except us and Trinity.
Integrated, innovative marketing.
I wonder what Mail's doing to Floyd Central.
Don't touch that
Put
dial.
Mail
The
on there.
Eye Care
I don't care about Mail.
Institute
They're not in our
halftime
district
report is
anymore,
up
so
I
next
really
on the
don't, you know.
Visig Impact Sports
They'll
Radio
kill
Network.
Floyd Central. Don't
Hear that? That's the unmistakable sound of
Yeah,
an event
Coach-
or a
Coach
party
Glazer right
with
up front.
Louisville Inflatables. Whether it's the Super
what team
Quad
is that?
Bungee, the big
That's gotta be
baller
the
obstacle
69
course,
team. Those
or
are the
your
old
basic
guys, aren't
bounce.
Oh, that's right. He
Louisville
played on that team.
Inflatables
Yeah.
offers a variety of inflatables that are
He can
all
move
safe,
back to the other ones.
insured,
There's
and state
Coach
inspected.
Stewart with him.
If your event
Bob
or
Kennedy
family
over
party
there,
needs an
Coach
inflatable,
Stewart.
Call
Yeah.
There's Bob.
502-397-0876
Like the guy with his
or
69
book
jersey on.
online at louisvilleinflatables.com.
I was 69 and I
Louisville
played in
Inflatables,
69.
where
And
laughter
guess
adds
what?
When selecting an event company, you usually have two options: a
You
large
just say
company
PRP,
with budget
right?
expectations
Yeah.
to match, or a small company
Just 'cause
with
they're in our
limited
district, that's the
resources.
only
But
reason.
in Louisville, there's Events
It looks like
LLC.
99
Events
brought more
LLC
than
has
anybody.
the resources of a large corporate event company with the personal touch of a small private
Well, that's
business.
true.
I don't know what
including
quarter
a
it is. The
66,000
PRP is
square
up
foot warehouse of
34 to
unique
13.
Props,
Okay.
linens, dance floors, and more. So for your next event, call 583-5007
by halftime.
or visit eventsllc.com.
Wow,
Any other
look
good
at the
games?
price on
What
this
other-
This is
Bargain.
Michael
Selection
Montana.
of the indoor and outdoor rugs. Supply.
I can't
This
believe
Victor?
how much I
No,
can save on this
2009's
cordless
Michael.
grill.
Yeah, yeah. I was gonna say
No
they're
one else has
nah.
this many snow shovels in stock. Supply.
Bargain.
Supply.
Bargain.
Supply.
Bargain.
Supply.
No matter what
This
you
is the
need this
team
season,
that
there's only two
was
words
paying-
you need to know.
that's what
Yes.
Bargain
Collier was
Supply.
talking
Yeah.
about.
844 East Jefferson, near Newly, in downtown Louisville. Bargain.
Supply.
Bargain.
This is
Supply.
Glazer's
St.
still
X
there.
alumni Chris and Alex Hinkabine
hard for me to believe. Well, we'll just skip those for now.
The stats are good for St. X. Let's just put it that way.
They are
31-7.
Bodine 11 for 15 for 219.
And a couple drops.
Yeah, a couple right on the money that were dropped. But Duddy, listen to these two sophomores, John. Duddy's got 3 receptions for 97. Makai Smith 3 catches for 82.
That's pretty good.
That's awful good. 179 yards and 6 catches.
It is reunion night, and the 3 state champions being honored here at halftime. 1969 3A team beat Butler in the championship game 15-0. The late great Leon Dunnigan was the coach of that team. And then the 1999 team 4A, Mike Glazer, the head coach, was 14-1. Their only loss was the opener against Covington Catholic. They beat Bryan Station and Eric Shelton in the finals 34-31. But we remember that Hopkinsville game in the semifinals. St. X was down 21-0 at halftime. Mike Glazer gathered his team, said, we're going to win this game. They win it on a late touchdown pass, 22-21. 2009 team, the last state championship football team here at St. X. 6A, 14-1. Their only loss first game was to Cincinnati St. X at Louisville St. X, 24-7. They beat Trinity twice that year, including the state championship at Western Kentucky University, 34-10. Beat the Rocks 32-7 during the regular season. That team being honored right now. Shout out to the Montano family. Michael Montano, our friend Joe's son, was on that team as well. We'll take a break. Come back with more here on Reunion Night. Tigers lead at 31-7. You're listening to St. X High School football on the Bissig Impact Sports Radio Network.
Hey, St. X fans, Kyle Keurig here.
Hey, Todd. Why would this come up like this on the game stats?
Called One Eye or Two.
Came up rushes and yards, 12 for 9, but
To become an advertiser of this broadcast,
there's Mike Montano in the blue hat there talking to. Tony, ranked #1 in the preseason in 6A, it is 34-0 Rocks at last check.
Yeah, Trinity putting it on them good over there. And that, besides for here and over at Trinity, you're going to give some other scores that we are not real sure about.
Central Emmanuel 0-0 at halftime. And South Oldham and Christian Academy, who's ranked #1 overall in the state in a Max Preps poll I saw earlier, they're tied at 0 with Jeff Spalding is bothering us, Tony, once again, as we're trying to do the halftime show, we're being bothered by a Spalding. But South Oldham and Cal 0-0 at halftime. There was a delay getting that game started. Nothing. Nobody can score here. Central and Manual,
and Manual and Central, two good teams over there playing a defensive battle. But
PRP leads Valley 34-13. PRP, one of the teams in the St. X district. Tomorrow night, Holy Cross and Greene County are in Campbellsville in the Forked Bank Bowl. You got to be careful how you say that. And 5 o'clock tomorrow, Butler and South Warren, a really good 5A team, and the Rafferty's Bowl at WKU, basically a home game for South Warren. Yeah, defending state champs. So some great matchups here on the first week of the season. We thought this one was going to be great. So far, it's been great for St. X. It's 31-7 at halftime. We'll come back with the second half. You're listening to St. X High School football on the Bissig Impact Sports Radio Network.
Hey, first night.
He's coming back up to the booth now. He ain't going to make it. Both sides are good.
At 5. Services, freight ship.
Stephanie
band
Duddy.
of brothers.
Great punt. Logan Davis with 2 touchdown runs to finish out the first quarter. It was 21-7 Tigers, a 3-yard touchdown run, and then a 2-yard touchdown run. Jeff Sexton's 38-yard field goal, which would have been good from about 50, made it 24-7 Tigers with 4 minutes to go in the half. And then late in the half, under 30 seconds, Michael Duddy on a fly pattern, hit in stride by Doug Bodine, 67 yards. And, Tony, that's the play that had to just cut the life out of the Colts.
Yeah, any thought of, boy, we can – all right, let's be positive at halftime. Let's go in and say, hey, we get a stop, we get a go down and score. We're right back in this thing. But, boy, that touchdown was a killer. We didn't think the Tigers would take a shot right there. But, boy, they took one, and Bodine on the money to Michael Duddy.
So Tigers, as you mentioned, deferred. They will get to the ball here to start the second half. Harold Davis, what's the message to his team at halftime in the locker room?
Just come out fighting. We got to get the football back, go down and score, get something good to happen, and then let's get some turnovers and let's make something happen. We're not dead. I guarantee you, he's not down there telling his kids, well, we're in trouble. No, he said, let's come out and play. And I tell you what, DeSales will play tough here in the second half. Now we're going to see Mekhi Smith, who almost broke the kickoff the first time the Colts kicked off. Givens kicked it, and he was the only guy between Mekhi Smith and the goal line and made the tackle. So Smith will be deep. Givens is teeing it up right now, and we're getting ready to start the second half.
And we talked about this off the air, Tony. It's a really good DeSales team.
It is a really good DeSales team, and it's surprising it's 31-7.
Givens will kick it toward the school. High, short, bounces at the 22, taken on a hop at about the 18, making one man miss to the 25 and hauled down at about the 27. Nice little 9-yard run back there. And is that?
These numbers are hard to read.
Yeah, they are very difficult. I think it was Corey Williams, the wide receiver, that picked it up, but I'm not 100% sure.
That's the kind of play that
Todd Power says it was Grant Goodman. So it's either 80 or 16. That's how hard these numbers are.
I thought it was 16. But I tell you what, John, that's the kind of play that makes the coaching staff worried. The ball hits the ground and bounces, and you wait to go get it. So Tigers take over at their own 27-yard line to start the second half. 1st
and 10. Doug Bodine comes out in the shotgun. He's got Borho to his left, Davis to his right. Mekhi Smith split to the left, 2 receivers to the right. That's the wide side of the field. Fake to Davis, over the middle. Wide open is Elijah Byrne at the 50, and he's gone. He was behind everybody. Boy, the Tigers saw something on the film in the first half, and they opened the second half with a 73-yard touchdown pass, the third of the night for Doug Bodine.
Well, all they did was make it look like Logan Davis was going to run it up the middle. There's no safety. We got a Colt cramping, but John, what they did is when they went play action, they made it look like Borho was leading him into the hole. They faked it to Logan Davis, and there was no safety. And Byrne, 10 yards behind the defenders. He didn't even have to run full out to get in that time. And the Tigers strike quickly, and they lead 37-7 with 11:44 left here in the second half. And we'll see who the Colt is. And
it's
the
co-captain DeJuan Watkins, the offensive guard, defensive tackle, 6'1", 260. And certainly the way they're treating him, it looks like a cramp. Elijah Byrne, second touchdown. We talked about Goodman. We talked about Mekhi Smith in the pregame. We even sort of knew about Michael Duddy. Elijah Byrne, Tony.
That's
two
touchdowns for Elijah Byrne. He had the first one in the corner of the end zone on Great throw by Doug Bodine, but that one, all Bodine had to do was just toss it. I think you could have hit him with that one, John.
That's questionable at best, but it is 37-7. We're waiting for the extra point to come. Injured DeSales coach. Jim Brinkman, that's how you start a second half.
Well, I want to put a little memo and a reminder to you that the halftime interview, he said he was going to try to take as much clock as possible. All right, so memo, never play poker with Coach Kevin Wallace.
All right, he's going to try to take as much time off the clock, but you get into the locker room and you've got the offensive coaches who've been up in the booth,
Exactly.
And they say, this will work.
Right, and you've heard me millions of times watching a play and going, you got to come right back. You got to show them something and do it.
Tony Elijah Byrne was 10 yards behind the defense.
He was 10 yards behind him. It was just hope you don't fall down.
Bennett Bayline will hold it. Jeff Sexton will kick it. With 11:44 to go, one play into this second half, and it is good, and it's 38-7 Tigers. We'll take a break, come back with more. You're listening to St. X High School football on the Bissig Impact Sports Radio Network.
Hello, John Spears here. M&M Cartage, a family-owned transportation company since 1970.
#0333. The Bissig Impact Group.
What I insinuated was
integrated
he'd always
marketing.
ask you what was that.
Their first offensive play of the third quarter, a 73-yard touchdown pass from Doug Bodine to Elijah Byrne. Bodine's third touchdown pass of the night, Byrne's second touchdown catch.
Last two plays for the Tigers.
67-yard touchdown pass and a 73-yard touchdown pass.
It's pretty good.
38-7, and now the Colts come out and will try to answer. Avery still in the game at quarterback. Handoff up the middle to Holly. Kept it. Hollenkamp faked it to Hollenkamp, who was tackled by a couple of Tigers. But Avery keeps it, gets across the 25 to the 26, a gain of about 6 yards. It'll be second and short.
I'll defend you, John. I was watching with the binoculars, and I thought Walsh had Hollenkamp too.
He did. Walsh made a great play. Great play on the guy without the ball.
But that's your job. You know, if you're inside, you make sure you tackle everybody.
Second down and 4. Two receivers wide to the left. Higdon is slotted that way. And Wilkerson, the deep man. They pitch it to the left. Short of the first down. I believe that's Antoine Johnson. It is. Ken Schaffner and Brandon Chang in there at linebacker, in on the tackle. Gain of a couple. It's third down and 2 for the Colts at their own 28. And DeSales is in no hurry, Tony. And this is one of my pet peeves, when the quarterback runs to the sideline to get the play and then comes back out. Nightmare. He's in the shotgun with Johnson to his right, Hollenkamp to his left, and two receivers to the left. That's the short side of the field. Here's Hollenkamp running right. First down and not much more as he gets to the 31. Chang was there to get a piece of him, along with Will Dara, sophomore linebacker. So you're going to see some new numbers here as we begin the second half on the defense.
Yeah, Chang and Daro in there and, just getting their feet wet in there. But Tigers, gosh, you would never guess with 10 minutes left in the third quarter it would be 38-7 St. X. But the Colts looking for good things to happen. They get a first down on their first possession here in the second half.
And the clock, obviously, the very best friend of the Tigers right now. Scott is slotted to the right. They give it to Johnson. Not much there. Hit behind the line. Fights his way back to the line of scrimmage
but no more. He ran right towards Robert Andriole over on the left side of that defensive front. And
Schaffner.
Not much there. Ken Schaffner, same side linebacker as Andriole, in to make the tackle as well. No gain. It'll be 2nd and 10.
That's a play DeSales likes. They kind of load everybody up and try to run it to the right side, try to just fight you off. But that time, Tigers do an excellent job. And now it's 2nd and 10, Colts.
They send Wilkerson wide to the right. One man slotted that way as well. 2 tight ends, and Avery wants to throw. Rolling to the right, away from the defense. He's going to tuck it and goes out of bounds. But once again, we had a blindside hit by Colt there, and that's going to cost them some yardage, half the distance.
Well, one thing as a coach, you have to tell your kids now, when you got that corner sealed, the edge sealed, when you block, just seal block them. Just hit them.
You don't have to hit them. Just get in the way.
Yeah, and right there, it's a good block.
Yeah.
And it's what would have been in the old days a great block, but now it's a 15-yard penalty, and it's what's going to be called. And the coaches know it. And coach is over there talking to his player, explaining, hey.
And, again, nothing malicious there. He's just trying to throw a block for his quarterback.
Yeah, I've always said that was putting your head on a swivel when you're running a punt back or whatever, and the guy's running full speed, and all of a sudden everybody goes, ooh. And
everybody did that.
Yeah,
everybody did that here.
But that will not happen anymore.
What a great crowd here on opening night.
Oh,
but the weather is incredible.
Oh, the rain this morning, everybody cooled everything down. It's been in, the 70s tonight. And, boy, we've had nights, opening night, John, we wouldn't even have started till now.
Yeah, no fear of heat delay tonight. A ball all the way back at the 16-yard line. It's 2nd down and long for the Colts here. Avery in the shotgun, straight drop, has time, now steps up into the pocket and overthrows Scott. Good coverage on the play that time. That is Curtis Cotton, the junior linebacker, who had the tight end, Scott, and had really good coverage on him. It'll be 3rd down and 25 for the Colts. There is a flag at the line of scrimmage on the far side of the field. And if this is illegal motion or illegal shift or illegal formation, it's a personal foul against the Tigers. Away from the side of the field the ball was thrown at, and Kevin Wallace is in the face of his defender, and he's coming out. We won't throw him under the bus here, but we know who did it.
Yeah, and I can hear Coach Wallace from here yelling at him. Plays on the other side. He's screaming at him, and it's do your job. I will hear that part too, John.
This is the hint I will give you. We have a new defensive lineman in the game, and it's Jack Birch, the junior. 3rd down, it was after the play. So they get the 15 yards, but high school rules, it's still 3rd and 10. Avery back to throw, has time, throws over the middle. It is caught, hit short of the 1st down. Great open field tackle that time from Hale Bowler. Ball was caught by Zane Wilkerson, the junior, but Bowler hit him as he caught it. It's a gain of about 5. It'll be 4th down, and the Colts send the punting unit in.
Well, Hale Bowler's the guy that really went over the summer, went to a lot of camps,
yes.
Got his name out there. He's got good size, good athletic ability, and I think by the end of the year, a lot of more Division I teams will be looking at Hale Bowler.
Will Motley is deep for the Tigers. Givens. One thing the Colts haven't done a lot tonight is punt the ball. They've turned it over twice, turned it over on downs once, but I think they've only punted once so far. Motley stands back at his own 30. Good snap, a drop, and it bounced right back up to Givens. Motley will take the fair catch at about the 32-yard line, maybe the 33, and the Tigers will start there. 7:45 to go in the 3rd quarter. It's 38-7 St. X. The Colts haven't gotten many bounces tonight, Tony, but that one bounced right directly back up to Blake Givens.
Looked like he had an old basketball in his hand, didn't it? Bounced right. But, boy, you drop it and it bounces up, and he never lost rhythm either. And Motley back there doing the job he's back there for to catch the ball. Tigers will take over.
Hey, Jim, how open was Elijah Byrne on that first play of the second half?
Only about 10 yards. Guys, I want to bring you up to speed. That's our 3rd defensive penalty. And Coach Walsh did try to translate what he was saying. Basically, the only way that they can get back into the game is if we do stupid things like that.
Here's Logan Davis off right tackle. Thank you, Jimmy. Good open field tackle that time by Chase O'Neal. Certainly looked like Davis had some room there. He did get 4 yards. It'll bring up 2nd and 6.
Well, the funny part about that penalty and Coach Wallace is we got a packed house in this place, and everybody in the place could hear Coach Wallace yelling at his player. I mean, we could hear him with headphones on. But Tigers get 4 on first down from Logan Davis.
2nd and 6. Borjo is in at the H-back spot. He is in front of Bodine. Davis behind him. Fake, throw over the middle, open again. And I think the turf monster got a piece of Elijah Byrne that time at midfield as he lost his balance. The Colts with better defense on that one, but still not great.
Well, if you're going to,
it's 3rd and 6.
If you're going to give me that the whole game, I'm going to keep going back.
Score a lot of points.
Yes. So what they do is they look out there and they spread them out, and if there's no safety, I mean, the closest guy is 4 yards from the line of scrimmage. Nobody's deep. You just hope for those linebackers or a safety steps forward, then they're dead in the water. But DeSales gets a break there, and the Tigers cannot complete that pass.
3rd and 6. Clock stops on the incompletion with 7:07 to go here in the 3rd. Bodine, straight drop out of the shotgun. Throws left, a little wobbler. It's short and incomplete. Looking over there on the DeSales sideline for Elijah Byrne again. Decent coverage by the Colts, but that one I think got away from Doug Bodine. It sort of fluttered out of there like he lost it as he was trying to throw it.
Yeah, I agree with you, John. I think if he just gets a little air under it, Byrne comes back and catches the ball or has a chance to catch the ball. But now we'll see Bennett Bayline, the sophomore, again.
Bayline will kick it away for the 2nd time tonight. Antoine Johnson waits back at the 30-yard line for the punt. Colts with 10 at the line of scrimmage here. Good snap. Bayline boots it out of there. Good high kick. Not deep, but high enough. Takes a DeSales bounce at the 35 back to the 40 where the Tigers down it. It's a 23-yard kick with no return. And not a good break for Bennett Bayline there as it bounced backwards about 7 yards. 6:51 to go, 3rd quarter. And the Colts will bring the offense back out onto the field.
Not a whole lot here on the first 2 drives by both teams. And as the smoke comes down there, John, from the concession stand, I see it. Smells good.
I'm waiting to get over and to get some of those cheese bread sticks.
Oh, we also do want to say that Tim Brown and Livesportscaster wants to apologize for technical difficulties.
They're back up.
Back up and going. So, first night, things don't always go right.
First night technical difficulties we have on just about every year. Handoff running right. Good hole across the 45 out near the 48-yard line. That is James Johnson, his 2nd carry of the night. The 6'2", 200-pound junior. He's an athlete.
Man, they got some good-looking athletes, good size. You're talking guys that are 200 pounds back there running the ball. The tight ends are 230, 240. But a couple turnovers in the first half, and the Tigers making some big plays have stretched this out to 38-7 with 6:23 left here in the 3rd quarter.
Gain of 8 on first down to the 48 for the Colts as Wilkerson comes wide to the left. I formation in the backfield. Now they split it behind Avery. He hands it to Hollenkamp. Makes the first man miss at the 49. Crosses midfield and is finally hauled down at about the 47-yard line. A gain of 5 for Darren Hollenkamp. And do you think, Tony, the Colts got a little too tricky for their own good in the first half there because they've been able to run between the tackles here?
I agree, John. I think they maybe looked to throw the ball a few, and Avery had to run for it sometimes, and he made things happen. But that play's been very effective. They've ran the ball well with Hollenkamp up the middle.
1st and 10. Colts on the Tiger side of the field at the 47. I formation. James Johnson dots the I. He'll get the carry straight up the gut. Running hard. He is hit and finally driven down at about the 44-yard line. It's going to be a gain of 3.
Chang was the first guy there.
Chang was the first guy. Also some help late from Andrew Fry, the defensive end, the junior, who finally helped bring James Johnson down. It's 2nd and 7.
And I think what happened to DeSales early in the game, John, the turnover, and they got behind, and they went away from what they do best, like you said. And when you're playing catch-up, sometimes that puts you farther behind trying to do stuff that's not your strengths.
Wilkerson goes wide to the right. Scott tight end to the left. Offset eye in the backfield. Avery looks like he's changing the play at the line of scrimmage. Pitches it to James Johnson, running right. Cuts inside and gets down near the 40-yard line. They'll spot it about the 41, maybe the 42-yard line. Will Dara again in on the tackle, backup linebacker. It'll become a manageable 3rd down at about 5 for the Colts. Ball at the 42-yard line.
Yeah, Dara, sophomore linebacker, looks good out there. Good size, good getting to the football. But you figure when Lewis and Scott shift to the right side, 2 tight ends that are about 230, 240,
they might run
it that way.
3rd down and 5 for the Colts. Hollenkamp on the tailbone here, and he will get the carry running right, and he's fighting his way well short of the 1st down. He does cross the 40 to the 39, brought down from behind. That's Dara again on the tackle. Chang's helmet comes off. He'll have to come over to the sideline.
Fran Toasty getting a little bit of penetration to jam that play up.
Cotton back in at linebacker for the Tigers. 4th and 2 for the Colts. Down 38-7, late 3rd quarter. No reason not to go for it here. Allen will come in at nose guard again. He started this game. And he is there for one reason, plug up the middle. Fourth and 2. Avery hands it to James Johnson. He's got the 1st down and a couple more yards as he crosses the 35 before he's knocked to the turf. Jim Brinkman, what do you got?
Hey, I just confirmed with Alan Dutton. This is the 2nd largest crowd ever at Brother Thomas More Stadium after the opening night in 2007 against Ballard.
All right.
Thank you, Jimmy.
Did he say whether it was a sellout, Jimmy? It probably is not.
He doesn't really know as that because there's not a lot of people sitting.
Yeah, good point. 1st and 10 for the Colts. Here's James Johnson again running left. This young junior looks pretty good. Coming up from his corner spot or from his safety spot to make the hit is Braden Wilson, the junior. A lot of these juniors, Tony, getting some early season PT here in a game that you maybe thought they wouldn't get in.
Yeah, you got juniors and sophomores both getting in the game for good minutes as we run down to 2:45 left in the 3rd quarter. St. X leads 38-7. But, yeah, John, you're right. I think a lot of these guys thought they might get a couple spot plays, but they're getting a lot of time.
Gain of 8 for James Johnson, 2nd and 2. Ball at the 25 of the Tigers. And here's Johnson again running right. Gets away from Andriole, and he's chopped down. There's a flag. I thought it was a hold.
It was a big-time
and
hold.
I was waiting for the flag. Didn't see it originally, but now there it is. And Johnson still down on the sideline. A big collision over there, it looked like. And limping over near the sideline is
Tiger hurt too,
Braden Wilson again, Tony.
Yeah, I think Wilson
made the hit that has Johnson on the ground. He is still down and looks like he's cramping up over there. But a good job, Braden Wilson. Again, a new name, but a guy that's come in and gotten involved in the run game defense.
Yeah, John. And when he got up, a bunch of the players were waving because they got him over here laying on the sideline. Probably took one. We don't know, but he has. He's played well since he's been in the game. 5'10", 165, junior safety.
I will say this, and we'll check with Jimmy on the injury in a little while, but he lowered his shoulder and went right after James Johnson. It was very impressive. Is this an official timeout?
Well, John,
it's because of the injury of Johnson over on the sideline.
And one thing I did want to talk about is St. X comes into this game with no real superstars. When you look at the top players on offense and on defense, and the Courier and everywhere else. But one of the coaches, grade school coaches I talked to, told me, he said, sometimes those are the best teams because everybody's, on the same page.
And everybody knows they have to,
do their job.
Yeah, they have to contribute, especially this team, I think, on the defensive side of the ball. Everybody knows they have to help gang tackle. They have to get to the football because, as you said, Hale Bowler, probably the most well-known guy, maybe Kenny Schaffner right behind him. But after that, a lot of new guys. Andrio got a lot of run last year on that defensive line.
Mick Walsh.
Mick Walsh got some run. Again, D'Antoni will be back a little bit later in the year. But, this is a defense, although DeSales has gotten some yards here, I've been impressed by the St. X defense because you didn't know what you were going to get.
Yeah, this is a good DeSales team. Don't let this fool you, the score.
After the hold here, it's 2nd and 14 for the Colts, back of the St. X 37-yard line. Under center is Avery. He wants to throw, looks left, throws left, and he's got Scott, and he steps out of bounds right at the 30-yard line. It's a gain of 7. Will bring up a 3rd and 7. Dimitri Scott, who had a drop earlier, he's gotten knocked down hard a couple of times when he's either dropped the ball or caught the ball. He's the guy, and now he's cramping. He sits down at about the 23-yard line. But he's the guy, Tony, that could not haul in the high pass earlier. He tipped it, and it went right into the waiting arms of Will Motley.
And, John, I know it's not a hot night or humid night, but you got these guys that are cramping for
They don't know how to hydrate.
Are playing both ways.
Yes.
And they're on the field the whole game.
Yep.
Scott's been on the field. Watkins has been on the field all night.
Hollenkamp's been on the field all night.
And that takes a toll on these kids. And DeSales is going to be a player in 3A. Let me tell you, it's just not their night tonight. They're going to have a lot of good nights.
We got to get one of the Christian Academy update because Cal, who was prohibitive favorite in 3A to win it, I think, 0-0 at halftime with Oldham County, which I don't want to say it's shocking. Not Oldham County, excuse me, South Oldham. I don't want to say it's shocking, but it is at the very least a little bit surprising. Jimmy, are you cramping down there?
No, but update
well
on Braden Wilson. He is up now. He was obviously cramping in his calves, and looks like that Scott, the player, is down on the DeSales. He's definitely cramping. Guys, you know, when you're going both ways, that's really the difference between 6A and 3A. And the Tigers actually pick up a lot of wins tonight, or future wins, I should say, on this new RPI system. And I know, John, you've been trying to scratching your head on it, but there is no difference between a 9-win DeSales team and a 9-win male team. So it's just you look at your opponent's percentage, and then you look at your opponent's
percentage.
All right, so as long as DeSales plays a competitive, and they do play, in their district, they've moved up and play some competitive teams. The Central will pick up. If we and here's the difference too between Kentucky and some of the other states is that you can actually gain points by playing a tough team. So. I think some people were thinking they were going to get, St. X, no one's going to want to play them because they won't get any, points for the RPI. But you can pick up the opponent's average, which goes way up.
Opponents.
There you go.
It is 3rd and 7 for the Colts as Scott is up and off the field on his own volition. Avery in the shotgun, wants to throw on 3rd down. Blitz coming from deep. He's in trouble, getting away from a couple guys. Now back at the 45-yard line, being chased there. Throws, has a man. It's caught for the 1st down at the 15. DeMarcus Avery Jr. just escaping everybody there. Just an athletic play. Hits his receiver.
1st down.
That is co-captain Makai Lewis inside the 20. They'll spot it at the 16. And a 1st down for the Colts with 1:45 to go here in the 3rd quarter. Tigers lead it 38-7.
As Antoine Johnson limps off the field, look like he might be cramping.
It's easier to cramp when you're down 38-7. I don't know. I don't have science to back that up, but it just
you're
it
starting
feels
to
right.
cramp, aren't you?
No, I'm up 38-7. Are you kidding? I feel great.
I thought you were cramping anyway.
I feel great, Tony. 2 receivers to the right. That's the short side of the field. It's handoff to James Johnson, and he is cut down right at the line of scrimmage.
John, can I get
that is Schaffner again that came through and made the hit. Good play by Ken Schaffner.
Couple quick updates. Sure. Cal and South Warren, we were talking about 0-0 going into the 4th quarter. Manual has finally scored with 7 minutes left in the 3rd quarter over at Manual Stadium, and they lead Central 7-0.
Emmanuel is going to be a force to be reckoned with this year, and I think Butler, if you're just talking about the St. X district, Butler's got a quarterback. When you got a quarterback like Chaz Burks that's been around and knows how to play football, you're always dangerous. 2nd down and 10 for the Colts at the Tigers 16. Avery keeps it this time on the read option, running left, hit and dropped. Good open field tackle that time. It is a gain. And the helmet comes off of Curtis Cotton as he made the tackle. Boy, he flew to the ball there. Good run from Avery, though. Got him down to the 10-yard line. It's a gain of 6 to bring up 3rd and 4.
Well, Cotton, he's a guy that can go sideline to sideline at 6'1", 225. He's got good quickness and good instincts. He was good in coverage earlier, and that time he runs the play down. 30
seconds left here in the third quarter. The Tigers have the only points so far here in the second half on the first play of the second half. A 73-yard touchdown pass from Doug Bodine to Elijah Byrne. 3rd and 4 for the Colts. 2 backs in the backfield. Fake, and biting was Schaffner. Avery running to the right. He's got the first down. Hit and brought down short of the goal line. But it'll be 1st and goal for the Colts at the 2. And that time, Tony, Ken Schaffner bit on the fake a little bit, got caught inside, and that allowed Avery to get the corner.
Yeah, but give Avery the credit there because that's just an athlete making a play. And open field, that's a tough play to make. Now the Colts are knocking on the door with 7 seconds left here.
And the referee's trying to get them to wind the clock. That'll be it for the third quarter. 38-7 Tigers, 12 minutes to play. You're listening to St. X High School football on the Bissig Impact Sports Radio Network.
Hey, St. X fans. Kyle
Start
Keurig
the
here.
fourth quarter with
nine, 10, 11, 12. Yep. Somebody's got to come out. You can't have 12, little Kevin. You can't have 12. No. You can have 10. You don't want to have 10.
There are rules.
You got to have 11
one of them
players
is you can't play with an extra player, even if you want to.
So 1st and 2 becomes 1st and 7.
And, John, that just can't happen coming out of – I don't care if it's 38-7. That can't happen because people need to know their responsibilities, and it just can't happen.
Same formation here, Hollenkamp and James Johnson in the backfield. Fake to Hollenkamp. Avery running left, being chased left. Hit at the 10, fights his way to the 9, and it's going to be a loss of a couple there. Well, that time, Tony, it was – I want to get the number right here.
The guy made the play was number 17,
yes.
Chase Mayer.
Absolutely what I was looking for. Chase Mayer came flying up, and he was zeroed in on Avery from the snap and forced him to go wide. It's a loss of 2 back to the 9, 2nd and goal.
Yeah, John, he actually made Avery run out of his lane and go wider so the rest of the Tigers could get there, and that's a big play by the St. X junior safety.
Clock continues to run with 11:15 to play. Higdon goes wide to the left. That's the short side of the field. Scott, tight end to the right. 2 backs in the backfield with Avery again. Now James Johnson in motion to the right. And they fake it to Hollenkamp. Wanting to throw, hit, ball's loose, comes out. He got it back.
Nice
but
bounce.
The sack that time. And when you get a sack, you want to get the number right. That's J.P. Reed, the senior linebacker, who appeared to come through untouched, Tony, and leveled DeMarcus Avery Jr.
Avery had no chance. And luckily for Avery, the ball hit the ground and bounced right back up to him. And that would have been really a bad thing starting the fourth quarter out. But DeSales still has the ball 3rd and 17 from their own 17, from the Tigers' 17-yard line.
Yeah, 3rd and goal. Avery over there at the sideline with Coach Davis and some other people. I think the Colts are going to call timeout. They will. We'll take one as well. 38-7 Tigers, 10:21 to go. You're listening to St. X High School football on the Bissig Impact Sports Radio Network.
With 10:21 left, and here we go.
4 receivers in the pattern. No tight ends lined up in the tight end spot. James Johnson in motion. A little fumble on the snap there, but throwing it toward the end zone is Avery, intended for Dimitri Scott.
Scott doing a nice job of getting a
Motley
wing out there.
Motley with coverage on the play, and he reached up and just knocked it away. Not a good pass that time from Avery. It's 4th and goal.
Well, I know what Coach Harold Davis wanted. He got the man coverage, and he thought his big tight end could go up and get it, but a nice job in coverage. And now the Colts will go for it on 4th down.
No reason not to here. It's 38-7. And you don't, as a coach, use the word revenge very often, but I think Tiger players at least, were out to get some revenge here tonight. Avery in the shotgun. Fakes the throw. Now he rolls to the right, cuts back inside at the 20, throws to the end zone. It is caught. Incomplete. A diving attempt by Zane Wilkerson. Even if he catches it, Tony, he's at the 1-yard line. The Tigers would have taken over on downs. They will take over on downs now, but instead of the 1-yard line, they'll be at their own 17. So they bend and they don't break, and that drive fell apart at the 2-yard line, first play of the quarter, when DeSales had 12 men on the field.
Yeah, you're exactly right, John. And I'm expecting to see number 5 in at quarterback. I saw him over here warming up.
And here he comes.
Jack Savory, the sophomore, comes in, 5'11", 185-pound sophomore who played in the male game when Doug Bodine went down in the playoffs.
And Savory will bring Justin Walsh, another sophomore, in there to line up at running back with him. 3 receivers in the pattern here. Here's Walsh running to the right, cuts inside, back outside. Dimitri Scott will knock him down at about the 16, loss of a yard on the play. It'll be 2nd down and long.
And I know Savory and Walsh have played together last year a lot, but timing was really off there, and that's, getting new guys into the game here in the 4th quarter. And Justin Walsh, Coach Todd Walsh's son, and there's no reason he's playing because Coach Walsh is his dad.
Yeah.
He's a good player, and he's going to be a guy you're going to hear about in the future too.
Corey Williams in at wide receiver. Luke Spears back in at wide receiver as well. Liam O'Day, who we expect to see a lot this year, is on the opposite side, the short side of the field. 3 receivers in the pattern. 2nd down and 11. Well, they'll call it 2nd and a long 10 here for the Tigers. Savory takes a snap, wants to throw. Over the middle, it's tipped at the line of scrimmage. He had he had Spears cutting across the middle, but one of the Colts got a hand on it. It'll be 3rd and long.
Well, that's the play that's worked earlier with the touchdown to Elijah Byrne. It's just a little quick get it out to the guy running down the seam. And a nice job by one of the big Colts in there to get a hoof up.
Got a paw on it, did they? 9:11 to go here in the fourth quarter. Tigers will play in Lexington next Friday night, 6 o'clock start. Game will be at Lexington Catholic High School against Henry Clay.
And, John, Jack Savory's a guy they really like, and we'll see how, Jack progresses playing behind Bodine.
In the shotgun, Jack wants to throw deep. He's got a man, and it is dropped, holding his hands up to his helmet, and that is Duddy.
Well, if you're going to drop one,
yeah.
This was the time of the game maybe to drop
You've done
one.
enough, Michael.
And Michael Duddy's just beating himself up because Savory pump faked and then had Duddy running down the sideline, and that ball was on the money. It was 6 points, and it was going to be a long
Duddy's
touchdown.
Got a 67-yarder tonight, Tony. He was just about to have an 83-yarder there.
And that ball was thrown on the money.
Bennett Bayline will kick it away, and the Tigers will go 3 and out. Maxwell Newkirk is deep for the Colts. Yeah, the Tigers, one thing they're going to clean up, they've had a few drops tonight. Good high, deep kick from Bayline. It is fumbled, and the Tigers have it. Newkirk just didn't bring it in. The ball fell to the turf. And there to fall on it was Michael Huff, senior cornerback. And the Tigers will retain possession at the Colt 45-yard line.
Hold on, John.
Flag on the play on sportsmanlike against the Colts. So that'll give the Tigers 15 more yards. But Bayline, really nice kick there, Tony. 38 yards in the air, and that's where it was dropped.
Yeah, Newkirk kind of taking a look at the receivers, the gunners coming down, and just dropped the ball. And when two guys are close to you, good job by Huff. He just dove on the football. So they'll add that on, I'm assuming, John.
I would think so, but it looks like they're going to walk the wrong way here unless the official pointed the wrong way.
Well, like I said, it's their first night, too. So we've had technical difficulties up here. They're having some technical difficulties, and I think they're confused.
Now, if it happened before the kick, perhaps the Tigers would have to decline it here to get the ball.
Yeah, but we'll see here. Unsportsmanlike is usually a penalty that's after a play. You usually don't have one while somebody's running downfield unless you trick somebody. Yeah, so it makes sense.
It'll be at the 30-yard line. 1st and 10 for the Tigers, 8:56 to go here in the fourth quarter.
Boy, isn't it great to be back out here on Friday night football season. I hate winter, but I love the fall. Tigers will be in action next Friday night in Lexington at Lexington Catholic against a good Henry Clay team. 6 o'clock next Friday night, Lexington.
And we'll talk about the schedule here as we go along here tonight. Here's a handoff to Walsh, nothing doing. He is pushed back and then pushed back again. And the Colts with 10 at the line of scrimmage there. You're taking a chance there if you're Harold Davis, because does Kevin Wallace look like a bad guy now if he throws the ball, if the Colts have 10 guys rushing?
If you're throwing the ball, I mean, it's part of the game. And
Tough call here.
If you go play action again, John, I guarantee you there's going to be a lot of guys going, uh-oh.
Loss of 6 for Walsh on that one. And when he got the ball, it was like he was looking at a team picture of the DeSales Colt defense.
Yeah, there was a stampede coming at him.
I get it. There you go. Well done. 2nd and long. Savory in the shotgun.
And DeSales got 9 guys up on the line of scrimmage, basically.
He's got 2 to the right, including Baylor Bayline. Walsh wants to throw it deep. He throws it incomplete. The DeSales defender got a hand on it. It was intended for Corey Williams. Lance Whiter knocked it down. It'll be 3rd and long for the Tigers. Tigers, after Henry Clay next week, Tony, they come back home to take on the Male Bulldogs. No longer a district game. That'll be September 6th right here at Brother Thomas More Stadium, 7:30.
And there ain't many softies on there this year, buddy.
After Male, we go to Central. Then we have a nice little road trip to Bowling Green before coming back home as a home team at Cardinal Stadium against Trinity Shamrocks before a bye week.
Male, Bowling Green, and Trinity early in the year.
Yeah. And DeSales.
Well, yeah.
And Central.
And Central.
St. X. So
it always
no
rains when we go up
softies,
there.
no softies on the schedule here. Savori wants to throw, pulls it down, and he is going to be hit and dropped after a gain of a couple on 3rd and long. Didn't like what he saw, pulled it down, and the Colts able to get a hand on him, knock him to the turf. Clock continues to run with 7:47 to go. And I would assume we're going to see the punt team here, or are we going to give Jeff Sexton a shot? We're going to give Sexton a shot from 51.
They want to show his leg. I think this is more in show, John, just to show you what he's got. But nobody's ready because all these other guys have been sitting over there talking about what they're doing tonight.
DeSales smartly putting the guy deep here that could run it back if it's still in the field of play, not in the end zone.
How loose do you think Sexton is?
He's pretty loose. He crushes one, and it's going to be no good wide right. It had the distance, but he missed it wide right. We'll take a quick break. You're listening to St. X High School football on the Bissig Impact Sports Radio Network.
Why?
62. Back at St. X, John, Tony, Jim, and Todd. 1st and 10 for the Colts at their own 20. Pitch out to the right. This is Newkirk, the kick returner in the game, and he is hit and dropped.
Late flag.
A late flag comes in. Danall was in on the tackle. Will Walters, safety, sophomore safety, came up to make the hit as well. This one, I think, is going to be a hold against the Colts, as DeSales has already started moving backwards. No, a dead ball personal foul against the Colts.
And, John, 2 flags came out, so.
They both saw it, huh? So does the down count here? It'll be 2nd down. Well, Colts are ready to go, but they haven't marked the penalty off yet.
Officials are still working hard.
Boy, they are making this a long night for us, I can tell you that. Jim Brinkman, it's time for me to talk bad about the officials.
Yeah, one thing that the officials are doing, they have microphones for the first time in the 6th and 7th region. So they're wearing out the kinks. They're not talking to the chain crew. They're not talking to the coaches.
The only reason they need mics is karaoke. Chang meets Hollenkamp in the hole, but Hollenkamp keeps the legs churning and is able to get a couple out to the 12-yard line. It'll be 2nd down and 18 for the Colts from there with 6:44 to go. Yeah, very uneventful second half here, Tony. We had the long touchdown on the first play, but really nothing since then. Just 2 teams kind of running out the clock.
Yeah, it's been kind of what we expected in the first half, really. Not a lot of scoring, but, boy, they sure got it going early, both teams. And it's been all St. X tonight. Now we're down to almost 6 minutes left in the game, 38-7 St. X leads. And DeSales has a 3rd and 17 from their own 13-yard line.
Yeah, the down did count on the penalty. Avery running to the right. Little high step, juke. Flag comes down, and he goes out of bounds at the 13. Tigers probably decline that one and bring up 4th down with 6:02 to play. Well, way too many flags in this game, and I think both coaches will tell you that.
Yeah. And Andrew Fry did a nice job right there running that play down, and he's the one that got held. But, yeah, you got to clean it up. You're going into next week. You got to get your stuff together.
Yep.
And DeSales has got to put this behind him, and St. X got to put it behind him too. Go back to work on Monday. Or actually tomorrow, probably. We're never going to get out of here at this pace, so.
I would assume the Tigers turn this one down.
Got a timeout.
got a player down over here on the Tiger sideline. I think it's a DeSales Colt. But we'll take a break with 6:02 to play. 38-7, St. X with the lead. You're listening to St. X High School football on the Bissig Impact Sports Radio Network. No problem.
Shades for far less than the expensive brand. Today, they've donated over.
St. X alumni.
37. He goes, until he learns.
It's dfhcompany.com. Go Tigers!
Back at St. X, John, Tony, Jim, and Todd after a Givens 38-yard punt, fair caught by Liam O'Day. Tigers take over 1st and 10 at their own 49-yard line. Jack Savory still in at quarterback for the Tigers. Justin Walsh, tailback. And Baylor Bayline is the H-back. Here's Walsh running left. Positive yardage this time across midfield, across the 45. Hauled down from behind at the 44-yard line. It's a gain of 7 for the Tiger sophomore.
Justin Walsh, a guy that you'll hear me say all year long, love him. He's a great kid, but he's a better football player. And I tell you what, he's a hard worker, and you'll see that a lot. Nice run for about 7 on first down for the Tigers. And, John, this game's come to a halt.
Oh, boy, it has. And the crowd has – a lot of them have left, and they're just not that interested anymore. And I get it. It's 38-7, and you got two teams just running the football. Walsh in the shotgun – or, excuse me, Savory in the shotgun. He's got Walsh behind them. Baylor Bayline to the right. Here's Walsh running right. Hit and dropped right at the line of scrimmage. Nice open field tackle that time by Chase O'Neal. It'll bring up 3rd and short for the Tigers.
Well, I love the offensive lineman. Jackson McDonald in the game. That's Danny McDonald's boy. Sam Carr in the game. Try to get the rest of those Tigers up front. Blaine Probus, who's played, I believe, a little bit tonight. He's moved over to the center spot instead of Ferris.
Trent Gardner is the senior tackle over on the right side. Spears in the slot to the right. Williams wide to the left. Savory on 3rd and 3 in the shotgun. Takes a snap, give it to Walsh. Up the gut. He's got the first down and fights his way down inside the 40. Needed 3, got about 4.5, and it's the first down for the Tigers.
Right in
4:09 to play.
Right behind Sam Carr, the 6'1", 250 sophomore offensive lineman. John, as the dad of an offensive lineman, love those big uglies that you'd call them.
And, Tony, a word we've said a lot tonight, sophomore.
A lot.
So, speaking of sophomores and freshmen, St. X Trinity will open their freshman and JV seasons this week. JVs will play Monday
on Shelbyville Road
at Trinity, and the freshmen will play at Trinity on Thursday. I think both games are at 5:30, if I'm not mistaken.
They are.
So get out and support the younger Tigers. Here's Walsh running right. Cuts inside at the 36-yard line. They'll get chopped down right there. It's a gain of about 4. 2nd and a long 6 here. As Kevin Wallace very happy right now to hand the ball off and watch the clock tick away.
Yeah, Baylor Bayland with a nice block to get Walsh that extra yard or 2 right there at the tight end spot.
And again, no hurry here. Tigers have the play clock over here on the sideline. They know what's going on.
What do you think, John? The Bayland boys got their Athletic talent from their mom.
And they definitely did not get it from Greg. I saw him play basketball, Tony. There's no way they got it from Greg. They're actually good. Here's Walsh up the middle. Great cut back to the 30. Running to the left sideline, and one man to beat couldn't do it. He got to the 25-yard line before Antoine Johnson. Nope, not Antoine Johnson. Excuse me. It's Jake Meeks that brought him down, the free safety. But Walsh with a big gainer down to the 25, 1st and 10 for the Tigers.
Cam Clarkson in on that offensive line, 6'2", 280, senior in the ball game.
Tigers taking a whole lot of time here. Cam Clarkson, big dude, Tony.
Yes, sir.
1st and 10 for St. X. Savory, inside handoff to Walsh, and he is hitting the backfield and pushed backwards. Big Jaden McClain got a meat hook on him back there. The sophomore defensive tackle pushed him back to the 30. It's a loss of 5 for the Tigers. Clock continues to run with 1:54 to go.
Tell me this is a misprint, John. 59, James Tyson Glover, freshman, 6'4", 380.
For the Tigers?
No, for the Colts, 59. He's a big boy.
6'4", 380 freshman. Those were almost my measurements, except for the 6'4". Savory watching the back judge. No hurry to snap it here. He'll hand it to Walsh. Justin getting a lot of play late, and he's got some room. 25, got the 5 back plus 1 before he is pushed backward by Wilkerson, who's cramping a little bit. He'll take himself out of the game. And it'll bring up 3rd down and about 9 for the Tigers. Impressive victory tonight, Tony Bird?
Yes, sir, John. This was the game of the week for almost everyone this week.
Courier Journal, Jason Frakes is here. You can read his stuff tomorrow. Dominique Yates from the Courier, digital guys here as well. I saw Kent Taylor from Wave 3 before the game. They were doing their sportscast at 6 o'clock from out here. Louisville Catholic, Jeff's here from Louisville Catholic. So everybody covering this game tonight.
It's been all Tigers after the first possession by the Colts when they scored.
Here's Justin Walsh with yet another carry. Might be getting a little winded there. Lost a couple, and boy, it was a awkward fall that time for Justin Walsh. Coming through and making the tackle was
it's going to do it, John.
Ebenezer Griffith. Great name. But that'll do it. Clock will run out. Tigers win at 38-7. We'll be back with more. You're listening to St. X High School football on the Bissig Impact Sports Radio Network.
I'm Chris Burke, former major leaguer in St. X class of 1998.
I'm Pat Lamb.
Brinkman Todd Powers. Before we get to the coach, Tony, let's give away a few awards here. We're going to try to do these most of the season. But our Oldham County Electric electrifying play of the game, that's an easy one. Under 30 seconds to play in the first half. A 67-yard touchdown from Doug Bodine to Michael Duddy. Very impressive, and it was electrifying.
Yes, John. It was a play we didn't expect to play that actually probably put the nail at halftime in DeSales.
Glen Oaks Country Club, big hit of the game. He teed off on him. We're going to give that one to Hale Bowler. Made a big hit on Dimitri Scott over the middle on a third down play. It forced the Colts to punt in the first half when it was still a game. So the Glen Oaks Country Club big hit of the game goes to Hale Bowler. And our M&M Cartage impact player of the game, M&M Cartage carrying the load. That's kind of easy, too, because Doug Bodine was absolutely outstanding tonight.
Yeah, John, and his numbers don't even show how good he was. He had some big throws, big plays, had a couple balls dropped, but he controlled the game.
Let's go to Jim Brinkman. He's caught up with the head coach. Jimmy?
All right, Coach, impressive, first game of the season.
Yeah, I think that, this didn't go the way I really thought it would, and in my heart, I thought it would be a much more competitive game. And once again, I'll go back to, turnovers. When you have a positive turnover margin as much as we did, it certainly spreads the game out a little bit. I don't think there's that great of a difference in those two football teams, but and I think our depth played a big factor. I don't think there's any doubt about that when you see as many cramps as they had. They had a lot of kids going both ways and still trying to play hard. I told the quarterback when the game got away, I had great admiration for him. I mean, I run him to death, and he's running over the sideline to get to play, and he kept battling. But I'm proud of our kids. I thought our offensive execution was it looked like we actually knew what we were doing, which a year ago it looked like we were the Keystone Cops. So I'm proud of that, and it's one night, and we're going to enjoy this victory tonight, and then tomorrow we'll start getting ready for Henry Clay.
With this win, I mean, this could be an 8 or 9 win DeSales team, so that's really could help you in that RPI.
You guys can worry about that. I'm just glad to win. The first 6 weeks of our schedule are heck, man. There's great teams every week, and but I'm tickled to death to get this one done, and I thought we did a lot of good things. I'm proud of our kids other than the 3 personal fouls on defense. I think that we've got a clean – we had a big talk Monday about, self-inflicted wounds. Right. Because we had a lot of those against Simon Kent. And, part of what we talked about were penalties. And last week it was offensive penalties with holds, and this week it's the personal fouls on defense. And we just can't do that against the kind of competition we're going to play.
Any impressions of Henry Clay and playing at Lex Cath?
Yeah, I haven't seen anything of them. It's been years since we played them. When I was at Bowling Green, it's probably been 15 to 20 years since we competed against them. So I know Sam, and I'm sure they're doing. They've notoriously been a spread offense team and an odd front defensive team, and we'll trade the film, start to work tomorrow.
Okay. All right, thank you, Coach Wallace.
Head coach Kevin Wallace, very pleased, I think, with his team's effort tonight and coming out victorious 38-7 over the DeSales Colts. We'll be back with the Eye Care Institute postgame report. You're listening to St. X High School football on the Bissig Impact Sports Radio Network.